Before diving into the events of this short film scene, it's important to acknowledge how stories like these, even in a compact format, can hold deep resonance for audiences, particularly in the LGBTQ community. Scene 1 of this new series introduces us to Casey and Lily, two young women whose lives intersect in a moment of emotional vulnerability, catalyzing a profound shift in Lily's understanding of relationships and her own desires. At its core, the scene is about heartbreak, betrayal, and the realization that love and connection do not always come from the expected sources. From the very beginning, we meet Lily at a fragile point. She's reeling from a breakup with her boyfriend Brian, who has humiliated her, and she arrives at the home of his sister Casey in search of some clarity or perhaps confrontation. The tension is immediately apparent. Lily is assertive yet vulnerable, announcing her presence and insisting she will wait for Brian even though he is ostensibly absent. There's an undercurrent here that speaks to the determination many young women have when confronting personal injustice, but it also introduces the inevitability of emotional support coming from unexpected quarters. Casey, on the other hand, is calm, composed, and grounded, embodying a form of empathy that doesn't excuse behavior but prioritizes the well-being of someone she sees as genuinely hurt. Casey's initial reluctance, "Look, I'm sorry if you're fighting with my brother, but I can't help you," signals her awareness of boundaries and personal responsibility, yet her willingness to listen and engage demonstrates a key element of queer storytelling, the subversion of traditional gendered hierarchies of protection and comfort. Women supporting women outside of romantic expectation becomes the framework through which Lily begins to recalibrate her understanding of intimacy, affection, and emotional safety. The dialogue between Lily and Casey is particularly telling, layered with both contemporary vernacular and moments of raw honesty that make the scene resonate beyond its immediate context. When Lily recounts the betrayal, the dissemination of a private image, the gaslighting, and the emotional turmoil, Casey responds not with judgment, but with practical acknowledgement and validation. She reminds Lily that Brian has consistently failed to demonstrate kindness or respect, and even if the specific transgressions around the shared images were not as malicious as feared, the overarching pattern of disregard is undeniable. This interaction mirrors experiences that many LGBTQ women can relate to, particularly in societies where relationships with men are often portrayed as central or inevitable. The recognition of harm and the validation of emotions outside of a heteronormative framework is crucial here. Casey does not attempt to redirect Lily's grief toward finding another boyfriend or placing blame externally, but instead provides a space for self-reflection and empowerment. This moment highlights an essential component of lesbian and queer storytelling, which is the idea that emotional intimacy and understanding can flourish independently of male mediation. Lesbian audiences, in particular, can relate to the power of female-centered emotional solidarity, where care and comfort emerge organically from a peer or confidant, rather than a prescribed romantic partner. Moreover, the scene subtly introduces the theme of realization and identity. While the overt narrative centers on a breakup with a man, Lily's vulnerability opens her to broader possibilities. Through Casey's patient listening and frank assessment of Brian's character, he's a giant douchebag, Lily is invited to reevaluate what she wants and needs in a relationship. Casey's affirmation of Lily's worth, pointing out her compassion, initiative in starting a school organization, and her overall character, is more than simple reassurance. It is an implicit message that meaningful connection need not be restricted to the dynamics Lily has previously internalized. For queer audiences, this is a moment of recognition, the realization that attraction, care, and love can and do exist outside heteronormative expectations. The scene captures the transformative potential of same-gender relationships, not necessarily through romance alone, but through emotional resonance, mentorship, and the gentle guiding hand of someone who understands the nuances of emotional labor that women often provide to one another. In many ways, Casey embodies a safe space, both emotionally and intellectually, allowing Lily to explore aspects of her heart and mind that may have been previously unacknowledged. This scene also reflects broader societal dynamics and biases that impact how women, particularly those attracted to other women, experience love and support. Society often stigmatizes female intimacy that is not clearly delineated by romantic or sexual intent, treating close emotional bonds between women with suspicion or dismissal. In Lily and Casey's interaction, we see this subtext play out implicitly. Their bond is nurturing and intimate, yet it is framed outside of a formal romantic context. And in this framing, there is room for exploration of identity, trust, and emotional authenticity. For lesbian audiences, these subtleties are familiar. The act of being emotionally seen and valued by another woman can be radical and liberating, precisely because society frequently diminishes or sexualizes such connections when they exist. Here, the scene demonstrates that lesbian or queer connections are multifaceted. They are not only about desire, but about recognition, validation, and the cultivation of self-worth. Another important layer to examine is how women can relate to Lily's journey of betrayal and Casey's mentorship. The heartbreak Lily experiences is universal. Humiliation, deceit, and manipulation in a relationship are experiences many women face, irrespective of sexual orientation. Casey's role models how women can intervene in supportive and empowering ways without overstepping boundaries or forcing decisions. This dynamic is key. It underscores the importance of female solidarity and illustrates a template for interpersonal ethics in emotionally charged situations. The scene implicitly critiques traditional gender norms that suggest women are only valuable in relation to men. Casey's encouragement allows Lily to see her own agency, fostering a sense of empowerment that transcends the failed relationship. For queer viewers, this becomes doubly significant, as it models the recognition of personal worth beyond heteronormative validation. Casey and Lily's interaction also highlights the nuanced negotiation of vulnerability and strength. Lily is initially persistent, almost desperate in her desire to confront Brian and seek validation or restitution. Casey, steady and composed, counters this with a balanced mixture of empathy, honesty, and practical guidance. Their conversation is not a simple comfort scene, but a layered negotiation of boundaries, expectations, and emotional literacy. This is deeply resonant for lesbian audiences because it models relational patterns often absent in mainstream narratives: the ability to express feelings openly, to confront difficult truths, and to offer care without expectation. The scene implicitly challenges societal discomfort with female-to-female emotional intimacy, demonstrating that such connections can be rich, nurturing, and transformative. Another aspect worth analyzing is the dialogue's humor and levity, particularly when Lily brings up the infamous banana picture and Casey responds with a mix of shock and wry commentary. These moments serve several functions. They provide relief in an otherwise emotionally intense scene, they normalize awkwardness and imperfection, and they create space for trust and shared laughter. Humor, in this sense, is a vehicle for intimacy. Lesbian audiences often recognize that trust and connection can be cemented through playful, sometimes irreverent exchanges. These moments underscore that female-to-female bonds are not monolithic. They are dynamic, multi-dimensional, and capable of encompassing both lightheartedness and profound emotional weight. The scene's ending, where Casey reassures Lily that she is beautiful and good-hearted, and that Brian is unworthy of her, reinforces a key theme in LGBTQ and women-centered storytelling: the reclamation of self-worth. The affirmation of character over appearance or societal status, and the validation of emotional labor and compassion, is particularly resonant for women navigating spaces where their value is often measured by external approval. For lesbian audiences, these affirmations can resonate on multiple levels, as validation of identity, recognition of relational worth, and reinforcement of the idea that meaningful connection can be found in spaces beyond patriarchal or heteronormative structures. Finally, the scene operates as an exploration of the ways women support and uplift each other in moments of crisis. Casey's approach, patient, honest, and emotionally intelligent, models a framework for empathy that contrasts with the destructive behaviors Lily has just endured. For lesbian viewers, this dynamic can resonate deeply because it reflects real-life experiences of mentorship, friendship, and even the beginnings of romantic or sexual awareness that often arise from emotionally safe same-gender relationships. The subtle undertone of recognition that girls are often more than boys signals a shift in perspective, not just about romantic potential, but about understanding the depth, reliability, and emotional resonance that female connections can offer. In conclusion, Scene 1 of this short film provides a compact yet rich tapestry of emotional storytelling that resonates with both lesbian and wider female audiences. The narrative underscores the importance of validation, empathy, and emotional literacy, while also providing subtle cues for queer self-recognition and the dismantling of heteronormative expectations. Lily's vulnerability, paired with Casey's grounded guidance, illustrates the transformative potential of female-to-female bonds, emphasizing that love, care, and understanding need not be defined by traditional societal scripts. It critiques male-centered relational norms, showcases the power of emotional solidarity, and celebrates the myriad ways women can support and inspire each other. Ultimately, this scene is a testament to the universality of heartbreak and the specificity of queer relational dynamics, and it invites viewers to reflect on the richness of connections that exist when women are permitted to see each other fully, honestly, and without judgment.